Hey guys, if you are looking for a yoga routine for guys in their 50s and you want to work on your knees and ankles, then this is a perfect 10-minute routine for you. This is made for beginners, made for guys who are less flexible, for guys specifically in their 50s, and this is going to help with improving the mobility, the flexibility in those joints, in those areas to help with relieving joint pain. It's also going to help with your back. It's going to make your other workouts easier and just make your day-to-day life a lot easier and more pain-free. So do your best, follow along. There's no equipment required, no yoga experience or flexibility required, and we're going to get started on the ground on your back. So this first exercise is a bridge, and we're actually doing this as a warm-up because we want to make sure that the muscles are warm. We don't want to just go straight into stretches without getting the right muscles turned on. So start with your feet planted just in front of your hips, knees above your ankles, back relaxed on the ground. And then squeeze your butt muscles, push down through your feet, and lift your hips off the floor. This isn't a competition to get your hips as high as possible. I want you to focus on squeezing your butt muscles. Your back is going to stay flat here, so you're not arching your back up and puffing your chest out. You want to keep a straight line from your shoulders to your knees, pushing down through all four corners of your feet, through your toes, the big toes, the little toes, the ball mounds of your feet, and also through your heels as you squeeze your butt, keeping your back flat, and breathe in and out of your nose. And this can be a challenging exercise. If you start to feel your muscles shaking, if you're getting tired, that's a good thing. It means you're probably doing it correctly. And if you notice that it's hard to engage your butt muscles right now, that's okay. That is something that takes time to develop. Most of us have really poor glute activation because we sit a lot. So just keep at this, keep being consistent 3 times per week, and it should get better within a few weeks. All right, go ahead and release. So now that we've got the legs warmed up, we're going to go ahead and come up into a standing position and start with a warrior one. And this is a really good lunge variation for your ankles. You start with your right leg forward, step back with your left foot, point it out 45 degrees, square your hips toward the front, and then from here, bend into your front knee until your knee is above the ankle and the front foot, and push into the outer edge of your back foot, pressing down through the heel as well, keeping your toes rooted down. And if you look at the space between the arch of your foot and the ground, there should be some space there. You want to make sure that you're not caving that foot in. Hips are squared forward. If you want to go deeper into this, if you feel like you're not getting a good enough stretch, you can crawl your right foot forward more. You can also push your left hip toward your right knee to go deeper into this stretch. Bring your right shoulder back and then lift your arms overhead. And this is your warrior one. So you're going to get a big stretch through your hips here, but I find in my experience that most guys actually feel the stretch in their ankles more than the hips just because ankles are so tight, right? Wearing dress shoes, if you're wearing shoes in general, if you don't spend a lot of time barefoot, then your ankles are going to be tight, and this pose will reveal that. As you're here, you want to focus on your breathing and the technique. So you're breathing in and out of your nose, trying to maintain slow, controlled breathing. And you're also checking back in with that technique. So you're pushing down through the front foot, pushing into the outer edge and the heel of the back foot, and then lightly pressing your left hip toward your right knee to go deeper into that hip stretch. Give this one more breath. And then relax. Go ahead and stand up, and we'll switch sides. So left foot forward, right leg back, pointed out 45 degrees. Square your hips toward the front. Start with your legs straight. And then when you're ready, bend into your front knee, knee over the ankle and the front foot. Push into the outer edge and the heel of the back foot. Again, you want to make sure there's some space between the arch of your foot and the ground. And then lift your arms up, allowing your hips to sink forward as you exhale. Make sure that the shoulders stay above the hips. Your hips are leading here. You're not reaching forward with the arms. You're keeping the shoulders and the arms above the hips. And I'm aware, I'm giving you a lot of instructions as we go through this beginner workout. There's a lot of stuff to focus on to make sure that you're doing this properly, getting the right stretches, doing this safely so that we avoid injury. And it can be overwhelming to work on the technique and the breathing at the same time. So this is something that you just have to practice, and with time, it will get better. Go a little bit deeper with this exhale. Keep pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Stay strong through your hips, so you're squeezing those muscles, keeping your arms up. And then go ahead and release. Stand back up. From here, we're taking it into a wide-legged stretch. So you're going to face the long edge of your mat, turn your toes slightly in, push into the outer edges of your feet, slight bend to your knees, squeeze your thighs, and then bring your chest forward. You want to aim your sternum or aim your heart at the wall to whatever's in front of you. And then you're just bringing your chest forward, bringing your butt back until you feel a stretch through the backs of your thighs and the inner thighs. And then to add a stretch for your ankles here, you want to really push into the edges of your feet. So you're pronouncing the arch of your foot as you push into the edges of your feet, and you're going to feel more stretching through the outer shins as you do that. To adjust for flexibility, so you might not be as flexible as me yet, you're going to bend your knees a little bit and keep your chest higher. You can also relax your hands on your thighs. And if that's too much, you can also bring your legs a little bit closer together. So there's a lot of variations you can make or modifications you can make. If you're not flexible yet, we can figure out a way that you can do the pose, get the target areas, and still get the benefits. And that's what I do in these workouts. So bend your knees more, bring your legs closer together, and don't fold forward as much if you feel like you're less flexible. Give yourself one more breath here, or about 10 seconds. And then slowly lift your chest back up. Nice job. We're going to stay in this wide-legged stance and go into a warrior two position. And this is a really, really good exercise for your groin, for your back, your knees, and even the ankles. So you're going to turn your right foot to face the top of the mat, and then bring your left foot a little bit closer to the side edge of the mat so that you have a little bit more space between your feet. Keep your hips and your shoulders facing to the outside, and then bend into your front knee so that your knee tracks over your middle toe. It helps to bring your right hand inside the knee and just kind of poke it out to the side a little bit. As you do that, you might also feel that outer right hip engage. Dig down hard through your right heel. Push your left hip into your right hip. Keep your shoulders facing to the outside. Your hips are going to be mostly facing to the outside, but they're going to be turned in a little bit because that's how your hips work. And then with your back leg, push into the outer edge of your back foot. So you're still working that ankle mobility. Bring your arms up in opposite directions, so making a T with your arms. And then look straight over your right middle finger. And hold here for a couple breaths. Squeeze your butt so your butt comes under your shoulders. Make sure it's not poking out behind you. And yes, this is difficult. It's going to get easier with time. Working on strength and flexibility here, not just a passive stretch. And then go ahead and straighten that leg. You're going to turn your right foot in. Now we're going to switch sides. So your left foot turns to face the other edge of the mat. You're going to bring your right foot up a little bit so it's closer to the side of the mat, a little more space between your feet. Keeping your hips and your shoulders facing to the outside. Bend into your left knee. Knee tracks over your middle toe. Squeeze your butt so your butt comes and your hips come under your shoulders. You want to make sure your butt isn't poking out behind you, or otherwise that could be troublesome for the knees. You're also just not going to get as good of a stretch. Arms come out in opposite directions. Right hand reaches back, left arm reaches forward. Check in with that back leg. Make sure you're pushing into the outer edge of the back foot. Squeeze your thighs. Allow your hips to sink deeper into the stretch. But make sure you don't go any further than you can go without proper technique. So if you notice that you're going deeper, but your butt's coming out behind you, and you're reaching forward with your hand, try not to do that. You want to focus on depth where you're able to maintain strength, and you're also getting a good stretch. And if you can do that, you're going to get the benefits of active mobility instead of just a passive stretch. Go a little bit deeper. One more breath. Yes, this is a long time, but we have to do it for a longer time in order to get results. And then straighten that leg. Bring your toes in. Bring your legs back together. Nice job on that workout, guys. If you are looking for more of these workouts, we have more coming out every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m., so be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out. We have more of these yoga for guys in their 50s workouts coming out. We also have a free 7-day sexual wellness challenge that you can sign up for free in the link in the description below here. So be sure to check that out. Lots of workouts to help with, important stuff. And then if you want to see another one of these workouts right now from the Yoga for Guys in Their 50s series, go ahead and click this button in the top right corner, and you can watch that workout right now. That one's going to be focused on your standing poses, so working on your hips, working on your core, and your balance.